Hey you guys, Sarah here. I just wanted to take a minute to let you know you can listen to my brand new podcast. Semi-brand new. I'm on episode 8. It's a crazy thing. It's called The Sarah B Show, and it's all about random crap. Pretty much whatever I feel like talking about that week. Video games, books, animals, whatever's going on in my crazy life. Yeah, so anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I thought it was really awesome. I did it a couple weeks ago during Shark Week. I interviewed this guy, Chuck Anderson from Alabama, who got attacked by a giant freaking bull shark, and he survived, and he lost some parts of himself, but he's still alive, and that's what matters. Anyway, it was a really cool thing. He's super motivational, and like his story is awesome. He's even on Oprah. It's crazy. So, yeah, I just thought I'd share the interview with you guys. Sarah B Show you can listen to on the Lex and Terry app if you have an iPhone or a Droid. Just go to your marketplace or the App Store and type in Lex and Terry. It'll be an orange logo and it's made by Merce Attack. So you can go on that app and go to View Schedule. You can see which shows are playing at which time and check it out. Click Listen to LT2, Sarah B Show, and all my other awesome coworkers, awesome podcasts. Don't want to miss them, do we? This is Gatsby. He is my little man, and he wanted to say, I want to do the video with you. Yes, I live alone with my 2 birds. Can you tell? I'm awesome. Anyway, so we are going to go and have some fun. So enjoy this awesome interview and check out my show. My social medias are below if you have any input or comments. Yeah, I gotta talk to you guys soon. Enjoy! I love you. All right, I'm here with Chuck Anderson, who has actually been through an actual shark attack. Hi, Chuck. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So this is a very interesting story. I'm doing a podcast today about shark attacks in general because it's Shark Week and it's something everybody's very interested in. So can you tell us where you were, like when you got attacked?
Yes, ma'am. I was in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and it occurred on June the 9th of 2000.
Wow. And can you just kind of give us like a little detailed story about the whole event in general? What happened?
Absolutely. At the time, I was a competitive triathlete, and there was a big group of about 20, 25 of us were going to do about a 1.5 mile swim and then go for a 50-mile bike ride. The water was real rough and choppy that day, and we'd gotten down there about 6:15 in the morning, and a couple of us decided to get into the water to see if it was too rough or the undertow was too bad. There were 3 really good swimmers in the group, and so 2 of us, Karen Forfer, who was 64 years old at the time, and myself decided to go walk to the west and try to swim back about 1/4 mile just to see how the water was. And as Karen and I got out into the water about 100 yards off the beach, we started to swim back to the west, and I was probably about 1.5 minutes into my swim, and all of a sudden something from the bottom comes up and hits me about thigh high and actually hit me so hard it rolled me up on my back. I immediately, though I hadn't seen anything, knew exactly what it was, knew it was bad, knew I was in trouble out there in the water as far as I was off the shore. And I started hollering for Karen to get to the beach, and she started swimming toward the beach. And I started treading water, and I was looking around. I put my face down in the water, and when I did, the shark was immediately coming up from the bottom and was right on top of me, and I threw my hands out in a protective mode to push off of him, and when I did, he took all 4 fingers off my right hand.
Oh my God.
I remember putting my arm back in the water and trying to backpedal some, and blood was completely surrounding me, and I knew that was not a good thing because I'd seen all the TV shows and knew that, where there was blood, where there was one shark, there was probably going to be more. So I lifted my arm up out of the water, and I put my face back down in the water, and I saw the shark again. This time he hit me in the stomach.
Jeez.
When he hit me in the stomach, I did not realize at the time that he had sank his teeth into me. I have a perfect shark's tooth scar on the right side of my belly button, and up to the upper left-hand side of my belly button, I have a scar that went about 2.5 inches deep. The 4th time the shark came at me, I actually saw the fin coming through the water towards me, and I was trying to tread water looking for him, and I figured when he got close to me, I was going to try to push off of him. And when he did, I pushed off, and I thought I had completely gotten away from him. but he attached to my right arm and immediately took me to the bottom of the Guff.
Oh my God.
It's about 15 feet of water, and he slung me around on the bottom, threw me around like a rag doll, skin up all my shoulder and my hip on the bottom of the Guff. And that's when the good Lord and I had this conversation, and I asked him to help me, and for whatever reason, and that's the only reason that I can come up with, the shark decided to come to the surface. And people on the beach that watched the whole episode said I looked like I was on skis. I had my right arm in the shark's mouth, my left hand on the shark's nose, and he pushed me directly towards the beach.
Jeez.
And we ended up on a sandbar about 20 yards off the beach, and the shark was completely laying down the right side of my body. I was on my back, and I wiggled out from underneath him, and when I tried to jerk my arm out of my mouth, they call it completely degloving. The shark just stripped my arm from my elbow all the way down, and my hand popped off in his mouth, and I fell backwards off the sandbar and ran up on the beach, and immediately knew I was one of the luckiest men in the world because I'd survived, 4 separate attacks by a shark and was standing on the beach to tell about it.
That is so crazy because you always hear the stories and it's usually like, yeah, it bit me and let go and swam away. But that is like a really intense attack. Oh.
Well, it was one of the more unique ones that people have heard. And the thing about people standing on the beach watching the whole thing said it lasted about 9 minutes.
Wow.
And that's quite a long period of time. I probably stayed underwater for about 2.5 minutes, and was very, very lucky, and the good Lord was very, very good to me that day.
Jeez, well, that is just, that's an insane story. Did you happen to figure out what kind of shark it was or know immediately when you saw it?
Because of he looked like my ex-mother-in-law, to be honest with you. Was, we were that close, and it was not a pretty sight. But I was not trying to look around to see, okay, is this a bull shark? Is it a tiger? I had no clue at the time. We were eyeball to eyeball, and I was just trying to get away. But from the wounds on my body, they determined it was a bull shark.
Wow.
About 7.5 to 8 feet long, probably about 300 pounds.
That is so crazy. Wow. So just a few more questions about it. How long did it take you to get back in the water? Or do you still swim out in the ocean like that to this day? How's it changed your view on that?
I stay to the YMCA lane line more now than I did then. I'd probably done that same swim 45, 50 times in the couple of years before that.
Mm-hmm.
I do go a lot of places, and I do get back in the water quite a bit because, to be honest with you, the chances of you being bitten by a shark are very, 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 very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And I do realize how few times that has occurred throughout the world, specifically off the beaches of Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
There have been, really up to that time, no known shark attacks right off the beach of Alabama. So, I am better educated, and I try to educate people. Don't swim early in the mornings. Don't swim when there's a lot of bait fish. I truly believe sharks do not try to attack human beings. I just think because of the apex predator, they're trolling around in the ocean, and they're on the higher food chain than we are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I'm not scared to get back in the water. I tell people all the time I love Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, and I love the beaches there. And people shouldn't be scared to get back in the water. Just educate yourself as to when you need to get in the water and when you need to stay out of the water.
That's awesome, because that kind of answers my next question. I was going to say there's so many, it's a huge thing right now, shark conservationists and people trying to prove that they're not just out there to solely attack you viciously, that they're not bad. And so many people are doing the whole swimming with, great whites, swimming with tiger sharks right now. So is that like a stupid thing to do in your opinion? Do you think it's dumb for people to do that? Or?
Yeah, people say lightning doesn't hit twice, and then you see all these people with lightning have struck twice. I'm not going swimming with any kind of shark just for kicks and grins. Those that choose to do that, they've got their reasons. I'm not going to be critical of them. If they choose to, go out there and swim with the shark, they're accepting that responsibility and that liability. When I get out in the Gulf and when I get out in the ocean to swim, I clearly understand there are sharks out there. I knew that before I went out that day. You just never think it's going to happen to you. So, like I said, I've become much better educated. I've done some work with Pew out of Washington, D.C., and I understand sharks better, but I don't think anybody has a clear understanding about what sharks will do. So, I respect them. I respect the fact that that's their environment, and I need to be very careful when I get out there. But it has not deterred me from going out in the water. It's not deterred me from being out there in the Gulf and ocean, and I'll continue to enjoy it until the day I die. Wow.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm so sorry to bother you, and I really appreciate everything. So I thank you.
Anytime. I don't want to scare people just because I got my arm bitten off by a shark. I mean, there are worse things that have happened to people all over the world, and I was a lucky individual, and I've been blessed that I've been able to do things that I would have never got to do if I wouldn't have got my arm bitten off by a shark. So I do appreciate the opportunities I've had, and I hope people will not go in the ocean because there have been people attacked by sharks. I mean, we get on the roadways, we get on airplanes. There are different things that occur all the time, and it's very minimal chances of ever being attacked by something in the water.
Wow. Well, again, thank you so much, and make sure and tell everybody Kenny Chesney says hi.
Have a great day. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye.